Hey, aren't you Dan from DelTaco?
Yes, I am.
Do you know what I love about DelTaco? Your 79-cent chicken soft tacos, freshly grilled chicken, freshly grated cheddar cheese. Do you want to dance?
Sure. So soft.
Well, that guy was pretty funny. Who was that? DelTaco Dan. I guess that was me. But that was 20 years ago. I was recognizing the other day, 20 years since the DelTaco campaign ended. You know, there was a time when DelTaco Dan was everywhere, right up there with Flo for Progressive. Now look at me. I'm still at DelTaco with all my friends. Well, thankfully I did go on to do other things, but you know, it's been 20 years. Why don't we look back? Here's a look back at DelTaco Dan.
You know, this reminds me of when I first started at DelTaco.
Would neener be better?
So in my class, the Working Actors Workshop, Glenn Miller, who directed all of the DelTaco commercials he created with Mickey Taylor and Tim Hackbart as well from DelTaco, we talked about some of the commercials. And here's his take.
One of the things that you set up early on was Dan was the underdog, right? And DelTaco was the underdog. And we did a spot in front of Taco Bell.
Hey, I'm Dan from DelTaco, and this is our big competitor, Taco Bell. What's the difference? Well, besides them being much bigger, they don't have my 49-cent tacos. Your choice of tasty soft tacos or delicious crispy tacos for just 49 cents, 24 hours a day. You know, if this all goes well. Yep. There's my new office right there. Well, maybe right in this area here.
So that turned out great. I mean, people stop me all the time. They really like that I was covering up. They liked that I was covering up the Taco Bell sign with DelTaco. And then we shot another one later.
We shot many there.
In front of Taco Bell.
We shot a few.
And I kept being afraid that snipers were going to get me. But it would have been good press. Any press is good press.
Any press is good press, right. right.
But then you continued to build the campaign, build the character, and you started to have even more fun. Talk about the flashback to Dan in the 80s.
So Dan, you know, had worked there for ages, so now we did a flashback to the 80s.
Yeah, when I was not the product development guy, I actually worked at DelTaco.
Yeah, he was just one of the grunts.
I had a mullet, and here I am, slow cooking the beans.
You know, most people don't know that at DelTaco, we slow cook our beans for 3 hours. It's how we make our 99-cent half-pound bean and cheese burrito. Freshly grated cheese and slow-cooked beans for just 99 cents. You know, this reminds me of when I first started at DelTaco. Slow cooking the beans and doing the robot. Slow cooking the beans.
Nice moves, bro.
Doing the moonwalk. Back to the beans.
Sweet.
Slow cooking the beans.
And that worked great too, because that did end up catching on quite a bit.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
We would be together out at whatever, and we would hear it all, hey Dan, slow cooking the beans.
And doing the robot.
And doing the robot.
Yeah. I do remember Taco Bell and DelTaco were at a different level financially. You guys had the budget you had to deal with. I walked out one time with my friend Carlos Alizraki. He was the voice of the Taco Bell Chihuahua. And the two of us walk out to the street. Our cars are parked next to each other. He had this souped up like Porsche, something like that, and I had a Pontiac Grand Am. And I was like, there it is, Taco Bell, DelTaco.
And that's the difference between 8,000 stores and 300 stores.
That's right. And sometimes you had to deal with it budget-wise. So I remember one time in particular where all we had was the office. We had me.
Right.
And we had you guys. And maybe one camera.
Yeah,
and what is it you came up with?
With a late night copier.
I love working late. It's quiet, nobody bothers me, and if I get hungry, I can always stop into a 24-hour DelTaco for one of my favorite burritos, the Veggie Works Burrito. A vegetarian work of art filled with beans, rice, red sauce, lettuce, tomatoes, sour cream, guacamole, and cheddar cheese. You know what else I like about working late? I can do things I can't do during office hours. Oh boy. Oh, I better hide this. Don't want to look like an idiot. Try a veggie, chicken, or steak Works Burrito only at DelTaco.
So sometimes we didn't have much budget, but over time we started
every once in a while.
getting a little bit more. And so I remember a time when we actually had 5 actors, and we actually had a location And actually 2 of the actors were these twins, these beautiful blondes, identical twins that later became the Coors Light twins. They had their own campaign. A couple of other actors that were really good, and then this other guy that was going to replace me. He was more macho. Who was that guy?
Jason somebody?
Oh, Jason Mamoa.
Oh, right,
I wonder whatever
Jason
happened to
Mamoa.
him.
Yeah, he's looking for work, I think.
Dan, we're thinking the new Macho Burrito commercial should be a little bit more, I don't know, macho.
Such as?
Glad you asked.
I am Dan from DelTaco, here to remind you to try one of my Macho Burritos. Macho beef, combo or chicken. Burritos so big they have to be wrapped in a 14-inch tortillas. It is good to be macho.
It's not macho. I'll tell you what your problem is. The Dan guy. Have you seen me? Have you seen me work?
And actually, I do remember improvising that. Have you seen me? Have you seen me work?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because my good friend up in Sacramento, my dad's best friend, he was always saying that, I'll tell you what your problem is. And so that's what I said.
the Dan guy.
I'll tell you what your problem is.
It's
It's
the
the Dan
Dan
guy, yeah. But you know, one of the things I loved about the commercial campaign is you weren't afraid to take risks, right?
Yeah.
You would do things that some people would get angry letters, yeah, you shouldn't, yeah. But a lot of times what was happening for Dan, he was causing mayhem, but sometimes he didn't even recognize mayhem happening behind him. Remember the one that we shot with the Pepper Man?
You know, because Dan's the product guy, so he's going to come up with these great ideas. And I'm going to come up with a mascot. We're going to call him the Pepper Man.
Yeah. Well, we got a few letters, but I thought it was pretty funny. Let's take a
Yeah.
look at the Pepper Man.
You know, at DelTaco, we got something Taco Bell doesn't have. It's a spicy chicken burrito. Freshly grilled chicken, slow-cooked beans, and a spicy green sauce. DelTaco has it, they don't, and we're letting everyone know about it. Spicy chicken burrito! People love the Pepper Man.
Oh, no, no. How dare you! Oh, I didn't mean to.
Just so cute and cuddly. Kids especially love it. You just want to hug him, that's the thing. You just want to hug him and hold on to him.
So after that, the budget started to get a little bit bigger. And I remember one year you had a complete campaign where I was driving around the Making It Fresh tour. We went to a lot of places. Remember the time we went to Mexico and they welcomed Dan and there was a piñata involved? Remember
Yeah, that was one of my favorites.
I sound a little bit like
that was one of
Chris
my
Farley.
favorites.
Remember that one?
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. To pretend I'm Paul McCartney. Yeah, that was. I think it's one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah.
I think because the physical humor is great. I mean, Gregg's super talented at physical humor. Yeah, because we did a few of those. Remember ones where you jump over the wall and all those things. But in that one, we were going to get an authentic recipe or something
Right,
like
yeah.
that. Was that what it was?
Went down to Mexico.
Went down
to
to
get an
Mexico.
authentic
Well,
recipe.
we went down to Universal Studios.
My friends in Mexico who helped me create our most authentic tacos ever invited me back to celebrate the success of our new Tacos del Carbon. 2 hot corn tortillas, grilled steak or freshly grilled chicken, diced onions, fresh cilantro, and an Anaheim chili sauce. Hey everybody, I brought a piñata for the party! Tacos del Carbon. Choose either marinated steak or freshly grilled chicken. Tacos del Carbon, only at DelTaco.
But they were soft. Those things.
Those were
Wasn't
soft.
that
But they were
bad?
still swinging,
Well,
man. They were swinging hard.
That's because I was telling them to. Don't hold
Wait
back.
a
Don't
minute.
hold back.
I
Some of
remember.
those-
He
Some
can
of those
take it.
kids,
He can take it.
they had a good swing.
Yeah, they did. One of my favorites, one of my absolute favorites, is when we accidentally went to the nude beach.
Yep. Just typical Dan. Just drove to the wrong beach.
Another day on DelTaco's Making It Fresh tour. I stopped by the beach today to promote our new 4-item $4 combo meals. Hey, have you heard about our new...
Whoa! Look at those! I think they're dolphins! Or maybe porpoises, I'm not really sure! No, they're definitely dolphins!
Try DelTaco's new 4-item $4 combo meals. A selection of different taco and burrito combinations that include our world-famous crinkle-cut fries and a Coke. 4-item $4 combo meals made fresh, only at DelTaco.
All right, so we ended up finishing that entire run of commercials with a monster truck. How did you come up with that concept?
At the time, I think it was Jack in the Box, had this huge, like this semi-trail, this huge thing that was, had a wrap around it, and it was really cool, and it probably cost $1 million. And we said, well, that's not us. So we go and find this dinky little camper and wrap it with DelTaco stuff. So of course we're already starting, where we start. And so our goal here was like, okay, this is going to be it. So how do we go out with a bang?
Yeah.
So that's where we came up with like, let's get a monster truck involved.
Which was fantastic. Over the years I made so many appearances. And I remember just people wrapped around to come see Dan, the DelTaco guy. It was amazing. And I remember going to a monster truck show.
Oh, did you really?
And I went down the middle and I introducing the monster trucks.
Did you?
Place going crazy and everything. And of course I had an up close and personal view of driving a monster truck. It ended up destroying my own truck. Let's take a look.
Here at the Monster Jam Training Grounds, I'm going to use this Monster 4x4 to promote DelTaco's 4-for-4 combo meals. 4-item combos for only $4 each.
Step on the throttle! I got it! Slowly! Look what we did!
Wait, you were driving. Try our 4-for-4 combo meals, taco or burrito combinations, plus our world-famous crinkle-cut fries and a Coke for just $4. Made fresh, only at DelTaco.
Well, that was a pretty fun look back. I really appreciate Glenn Miller coming to the class. It was fun to look back at what we did 20 years ago. A lot of fun commercials. And it's great to see that whatever campaign they're doing now is doing pretty well. Pretty well. Huh. Whatever happened to DelTaco Dan?